Hey mga kawawmat, in this video we will discuss triangles. In this video, we will identify, illustrate, and name a triangle, its basic and secondary parts. We will also classify triangles according to angles and sides, and we will apply the relationships among sides and angles of a triangle, and exterior and remote interior angles of a triangle. So let's have first the basic parts of a triangle. So as you can see, a triangle is a closed two-dimensional shape with three straight sides, and it is also a polygon. So pag sinabi natin polygon, it must have sides. Okay? So as you can see, a triangle has three sides, three vertices, and three angles. So a triangle is a polygon. So let us name the sides, the angles, and vertices of the triangles. So as you can see, we have here three sides, so we can name it side AB, side BC, and side AC. Okay? So you can also, if you will write side BA, pwede rin po yun. Kasi since ang side po natin ay two endpoints po yan, so pwede po yan mag-interchange. Okay? So side AB, side BC, and side AC. Or segment AB, segment BC, segment AC. And then for our angles, since we have three angles, therefore we have angle A, angle B, and angle C. For our vertices, we have A, B, and C. Now, how do we name the triangle? So we are naming the triangle using its vertices. So this is triangle ABC. So this is the symbol we use in naming a triangle. Now, if you will be naming this triangle as triangle ABC or triangle ACB, BCA, pwede rin po yun. Okay? Let's have the secondary parts of a triangle. So we have the altitude, the median, and the angle bisector. So these are the secondary parts of a triangle. So let's have this figure. So I have here triangle ABC. Now, pag sinabi po nating altitude, so from the given definition that the altitude of a triangle is a segment from a vertex perpendicular to the line that contains the opposite side. So, simula sa vertex, let's say your A here is your vertex, and then perpendicular daw po. Okay, so perpendicular daw po siya. So, kung perpendicular, automatic, it forms right angle. Okay, so malalaman natin na that is an altitude kapag perpendicular siya. So when we say perpendicular, it forms right angle. So pag may nakita tayong right angle, ibig sabihin that is an altitude. Okay? So let us give the altitude given this figure. So the altitude here is segment AE. So this is your altitude since this is perpendicular to segment BC, which is your opposite side, and it forms right angle. Now, when we say median, pag sinabi nating median, it is also from the one vertex to the midpoint of the opposite side. Ito, perpendicular to the opposite side. Ito naman, midpoint of the opposite side. So, if this is your vertex, so kahit saan, okay? Ma'am, ang altitude po ba dito lang? Pwede rin po dito, basta perpendicular siya doon. Pwede rin dito, basta perpendicular siya doon. Okay? And then for your median, ganun din po. Pwede itong gamitin mong vertex, pwede ito, pwede ito. So this is from the vertex to the midpoint of your opposite side. So let's say this is your vertex. So kung ito yung opposite side niya, dapat may midpoint ka dito. So, halimbawa po, ito. So, your D here is your midpoint. Okay? So, if D is your midpoint, therefore, your median is segment AD. So, as you can see, it is from the vertex to the midpoint of segment BC, which is the opposite side. Okay? So, yung midpoint po natin, simula sa vertex, up to the opposite side, the midpoint of your opposite side. So, if D is your midpoint, ang ginagawa ng midpoint, hinahati niya yung segment into two congruent parts. So therefore, if this is your midpoint, therefore, segment BD is congruent to segment BC. Since midpoint siya, congruent tong dalawang to. Okay? Ito po, itong buo. Now, how about angle bisector? When we say bisector, it divides. Okay? Yun po ang tatandaan, it divides. So, ano yung dinidivide? Angle. So, dinivide niya yung angle. Kasi meron din tayong tinatawag na perpendicular bisector. So, pag perpendicular bisector naman, it divides the segment. But since ito ay angle bisector, then it divides your angle. So, anong pong trabaho nito? It divides the angle. So, if this is your angle, let's say, angle B, I have here angle ABC or angle B. So, this angle, pag dinivide natin siya, ito po yung tinatawag nating angle bisector. So, your segment BF is your angle bisector here kasi it divides the angle, your angle B, into two congruent parts. So, that's why angle ABF, ito po yun. And angle CBF, ito naman yun, are congruent. Okay? So, congruent sila because we have the angle bisector which is BF. So, again, altitude is perpendicular to the opposite side. It forms right angle. The median is from one vertex to your opposite side na dapat dun siya sa midpoint. Okay? To the midpoint of your opposite side. And your angle bisector, it divides your angle into two congruent parts. So, ayan po siya. So, your angle bisector is segment BF. Let's have another. So, in this figure, I have here a right triangle. A right angle. Okay? So, I have here PQ is perpendicular to QR. Now, kung babalikan natin yung definition ng altitude, perpendicular siya. So, therefore, we have two altitudes here. Segment PQ and segment RQ. Kasi pareho silang nag-form ng dito, right angle. Okay? So, kapag perpendicular, it forms right angle. So, we have two altitude, the RQ and the PQ. Now, for your median, okay, so this is your median. So, S is the midpoint. Let's say S is your midpoint. So, therefore, your median is segment PS. So, if S is your midpoint, therefore, QS is congruent to segment SR, kung midpoint ito. Now, is it possible that we can have 3 medians and 3 altitudes in a triangle? Yes. Okay? So, let me show you a triangle with 3 medians. So, ito po siya. And this one. So, ito po kung saan nag-intersect yung ating tatlong median. This is what we call the centroid. So, this is the centroid where your 3 medians intersect in a triangle. Now, another term for, we can also call these lines. So, when we have 3 or more lines intersecting to each other, yun din po yung tinatawag nating concurrent lines. Okay? So, kapag meron po tayong kahit anong lines na nag-intersect sila at one point, that is what we call concurrent lines. And the point of intersection is what we call the point of concurrency. Okay? So, in this figure, segment QT, segment RV, and segment PS form concurrent lines. Okay? And point O is the point of concurrency. Let's have the classification of triangles. So, we will classify triangles according to their sides and angles. Let's have this. So, for sides, we are classifying triangles according to sides. So, meron tayong 3. For angles, we have 4. Now, for sides, we have equilateral triangle. So, this is a kind of triangle where all sides are congruent. Pag sinabi natin congruent, equal length. Okay, so pare-pareho po yan. So makikita nyo yan, may markings. So kapag nakita nyo pare-pareho ng markings yan, ng tick lines, ng number of tick lines, ibig sabihin lahat ng sides niya congruent. At kapag lahat ng sides ay congruent, that is what we call equilateral triangle. Now, we also have isosceles triangle where we have at least two sides are congruent. So pag meron kang at least two, kahit dalawa na sides ng triangle na congruent, ayan, so as you can see, meron tayong markings dito. So, ito wala. Okay? So, kapag ito meron din, that is equilateral. So, actually, equilateral is a special case of isosceles triangle. Okay? So, we have here two sides are congruent. So, this is an isosceles triangle. Makikita nyo po yan, meron yung markings na dalawa. And then we also have the scalene triangle. So scalene triangle, this is a triangle where no two sides are congruent. So kapag wala po tayong nakitang markings, automatic hindi congruent yung mga sides niyan. Kasi kung congruent yung dalawang sides niyan, meron kayong makikitang ganito. Kung congruent yung three sides niyan, meron kayong makikitang ganito na markings. Now, kapag scalene, pwedeng wala siyang marking. So kapag once na wala siyang marking, automatic hindi congruent po ang mga sides niyan. Or, pwede rin naman, minsan may markings yan, iba-iba po ang magiging markings niyan. Okay. So, iba-iba po ang magiging markings niyan. Isa, dalawa, tatlo. So, kapag scalene, minsan hindi na po yan nilalagyan ng markings, minsan meron. Okay? And then let's have a classification of triangles according to angles. Kapag angles naman po, meron tayong tinatawag na acute triangle. Ano ba ibig sabihin nitong acute triangle? All angles are acute. So, alam naman natin yung acute angle. Na-discuss natin yan sa mga previous lessons. So, lahat ng angles po niyan ay acute. Wala po tayong makikitang right dyan at obtuse. Another kind of triangle according to angles, we have right triangle. So, ito madali nating makikita. Masasabi natin na right triangle siya kapag meron siyang isang right angle. So, pag meron po siyang isang right angle, automatic that is a right triangle. And then, kung meron tayong tinatawag na equilateral sa sides, meron din tayong tinatawag na equiangular sa angles. So, ito naman yung kinds of triangle na kung saan ang lahat ng angles niya ay congruent. So, if all the angles are congruent, then that is what we call equiangular. So, malalaman nyo po yan kasi may markings po yan. So, meron yung mga tick lines. Okay? So, pag sinabi po nating equiangular triangle, all the angles are congruent. Pare-pareho po yan. And then, we have the obtuse triangle. So, when we say obtuse triangle, kung sa right triangle, dapat may isang right angle. Dito naman, dapat meron kang isang obtuse angle. So, ito po siya. Okay? So, we have three classifications of triangles according to sides, equilateral, isosceles, and scalene. And four classifications of triangles according to angles. We have the acute triangle, right triangle, equiangular triangle, and obtuse triangle. We have special names of sides and angles. So, meron tayong special names sa sides and angles ng isosceles triangle and right triangle. So, these two are special. Okay? Meron silang special parts ng triangle. So, ano-ano ba yon? Kapag sa isosceles, so pag sinabi nga natin isosceles, at least two sides are congruent. Okay? So, itong two sides na congruent sa isosceles, yan po yung tinatawag nating legs. Okay? So, we have two legs of isosceles triangle. Ito po ba hindi legs? Hindi po. Kung ano po yung side na hindi equal doon sa congruent sides mo, ito naman po yung tinatawag nating base. So, itong base, ito po yung side na unequal. Hindi equal doon sa legs mo. Now, the angles that contains your Your base is what we call the base angles. So, itong angle na to na kung saan it contains your base. So, yung mga angles na nakadikit dun sa base mo, ito po yung tinatawag nating base angle. So, as you can see, meron siyang markings because the base angles of isosceles triangle they are always congruent. Okay, so pag sinabi nating base angles ng isosceles, lagi po yan congruent. Ano naman tawag natin dun sa angle na hindi congruent sa kanilang dalawa? That is what we call the vertex angle. Okay, so these are the parts of isosceles triangle. The two congruent sides are the legs. The unequal side is your base. The angles that contains your base are the base angles, and the angle which is not equal to your base angle is what we call the vertex angle. We also have special names for right triangle. So again, for us to consider a triangle a right triangle, it must have one right angle. Okay, so ito po yung right angle ninyo. Now, the sides of your right angle, ito pong sides ng right angle mo, ito naman po yung tinatawag nating legs. So, the sides of your right angle is what we call the leg. Now, ano naman tawag natin? Ma'am, hindi po ba to leg? Hindi po. Okay? So, kapag meron po tayong right triangle, yung side na opposite ng right angle mo, that is what we call the hypotenuse. So, yung hypotenuse, ayan po yung side na opposite sa right angle mo. Ito rin po yung tinatawag nating longest side. So, mas mahaba po ito sa dalawang legs natin. Alright? Now, the angles that contains the leg and the hypotenuse, so we have this. The angles that contains the leg and the hypotenuse are what we call the acute angles. So, ito naman po yung tinatawag nating acute angles. Let's try. So, classify each triangle according to side. So, that is for A. And according to angle, that is for B. So, let's have this one. So, since wala siyang markings, this is scalene. And according to angle, so since we have here one obtuse. So, this is an obtuse triangle. Next, so we have here, so there's no markings, this is a scalene. We have one right angle, so this is a right triangle. We have two sides are congruent, so this is isosceles triangle. And for the angles are all acute, so this is an acute triangle. And then this one, since all the sides are congruent, this is equilateral. And all the angles are congruent, this is also equiangular. This one, we have two sides are congruent, so this is isosceles. And we have one obtuse angle, so this is an obtuse triangle. And then this is also an isosceles. And with one right angle, so this is a right angle. So kapag binasa natin siya, this is a scalene right triangle. This is an isosceles acute triangle. So that's how we read the triangle. Now, what is the sum of the interior angles of a triangle? Okay, so pag sinabi nating sum of the interior, since we have here three angles, ano dapat yung sukat nito, at sukat nito na kung saan magsasum siya? Ano dapat ang sum nila? So, what are the measurements of these three angles? So, ito yung tinatawag nating interior angles, right? So, ano lang dapat yung mga measures nila para makabuo tayo ng sum ng interior angles ng triangle? So, let us try to make a crease. Lagyan natin ng markings. I-fold natin si angle 2, yung vertex ni angle 2, dun sa opposite side. Ito, ididikit natin yung vertex ni angle 2 sa opposite side niya, which is BC. So, lagyan natin ng markings. So, i-fold natin si angle 2, idikit natin itong vertex dito sa opposite side. Okay. So, ito na ngayon yung angle 2 mo. And then, si angle 1 at si angle 3, i-fold natin inwards, paloob. So, ididikit natin itong vertex niya dito at ito dito. Okay. So we have this. Now, as you can see, we have three angles na kung saan meron silang common vertex. Now, if you can still remember any angles na naglalay sa line natin, any angles that are lying on the same line is always equal to 180. Okay? So, lahat po ng angles na maglalay sa isang line, ang sum po ng angles na yan is always 180. So, therefore, yung triangle natin kanina na buo, nung tinupi natin siya, finold natin, ibig sabihin, the sum of the interior angles of a triangle is 180 degrees. Okay, so let us solve. Okay, so I have here, find the measure of the lettered angle. So, hanapin natin yung measure ng mga lettered angle natin. So, we have A, B, C, D. So, sabi ko nga kanina, the angle sum or the sum of the interior angles of a triangle is always 180 degrees. So, paano natin to isa-solve? I-add natin si A and then the measure of the two angles. So, 70 plus 60. And then we have here 180 minus 130 transpose natin. So, we have A is equal to 50. So, this is 50 degrees. Pag inad natin si 50, 70, at si 60, that is 180 degrees. Next, let's solve for B. So, i-add rin natin tong tatlong angles natin. Dapat the sum is 180. So, add natin si B, si 30 degrees, at si 90. So, we have 180, this is 120, and then transpose, that will become minus 120, so that is 60 degrees. So, therefore, your B is 60 degrees. Next, so since this is an isosceles triangle, so pag sinabi nating isosceles triangle, automatic, yung opposite sides niyan, congruent. So, kung congruent yung dalawang sides, ibig sabihin, yung angles na opposite sa kanila, congruent din. So, therefore, this is also 70 degrees. So, madali na nating makukuha si C. So, we have C plus 70 plus 70 is equal to 180, the sum of the interior angles of a triangle. So, we have C is equal to 180 minus 140, transpose natin yung sum nito. So, we have C is equal to 40 degrees. So, therefore, this is 40 degrees. Next, I have here three angles, three congruent angles. Now, since we are looking for D, kukunin natin si D. Now, as you can see, paano natin makukuha ito? Walang measure to. Now, kung titingnan natin, all of the angles are congruent. So, ibig sabihin, this is also D, and this is also D. Okay? Kasi congruent silang tatlo. So, ibig sabihin, meron tayong tatlong D. Okay? So, yung tatlong D is equal to 180. So, divide both sides by 3. I-divide natin siya by 3. Therefore, your D is 60 degrees. So, ibig sabihin, 60 to, 60 to, 60 ito. Next. So, I have here isosceles triangle. Now, since we are asked to find for C, ito po ang pinapahanap sa atin. Paano natin yan makukuha? I-add po natin lahat ng angles nila. Now, since congruent ito dito, kasi isosceles ito, since congruent siya, dito, ibig sabihin, meron tayong dalawang C. Okay? So, i-add natin yung dalawang C at yung 115 degrees mo na given is equal to 180. So, 2C is equal to 180 minus 115, that is 65. So, divide both sides by 2. So, 65 divide 2, your C is 32.5 degrees. So, ibig sabihin, 32.5 to 32.5 rin ito. Let's talk about the exterior angle of a triangle. So, pag sinabi nating exterior angle, dapat alam muna natin ang interior angles. So, ano-ano ba yung interior angles natin dito sa figure natin? We have angle 1, angle 2, and angle 3. So, we have 3 interior angles of a triangle. Now, what do we mean by exterior angle? So, an exterior angle of a triangle, forms a linear pair. So, pag sinabing linear pair, adjacent siya sa interior angle. Okay? So, an interior angle is adjacent to your interior angle. So, it forms a linear pair. So, i-extend natin lahat ng sides natin. Now, given these angles, exterior angles, so identify natin lahat ng exterior angles ng mga interior angle natin. So, we have angle 1. So, pag sinabing exterior, linear pair, adjacent yun. So, ano-ano ang mga exterior angles ni angle 1? So, ito yung mga katabi niya. We have angle 4 and angle 5. Now, angle 4 and angle 5 are also considered vertical angles. Okay? So, yung mga exterior angles po ng interior angle mo, they are also considered vertical angles. Now, let us give the exterior angles of angle 2. So, we have angle 6 and angle 7. For angle 3, we have angle 3, angle 8, and angle 9. Now, what do we mean by remote interior angles? Pag sinabi nating remote interior angle, ito yung mga interior angles na hindi adjacent sa exterior angle mo. So, halimbawa, meron akong exterior angle na 5. Kuha tayo ng isang exterior angle. Ano yung dalawang interior angle na hindi adjacent sa kanya, hindi niya katabi, hindi linear pair? So, we have angle 2 and angle 3. Yun po yung tinatawag natin na remote interior angle. So, pag sinabi natin remote, ito yung dalawang interior angles na hindi adjacent sa exterior angle mo. So, halimbawa, meron akong angle 9. This is an exterior angle. Ano yung dalawang interior angles na hindi adjacent sa kanya? We have angle 1 and angle 2. So, ito yung tinatawag nating remote interior. And then, let's have another angle 7. So, for angle 7, we have angle 1 and angle 3. Now, let us give the measure. So, let's say, yung angle 1 mo is 75 degrees, your angle 2 is 60 degrees, and your angle 3 is 45 degrees. So, halimbawa po, ito yung measures nila. So, hanapin natin yung measures ng lahat ng angles. So, since linear pair ito dito at adjacent sila, ibig sabihin, supplementary yan. So, therefore, your angle 4 is 105 degrees. And then, sabi ko nga kanina, the pair of exterior angles of every interior angle are also vertical angles. So, ibig sabihin, congruent yan dito. That is also 105 degrees. Okay? So, eto naman, linear pair ito. So, supplementary yan. So, kung 60 ito, ibig sabihin 120 na to. Vertical angle sila, so this is also 120. And then this one, since linear pair sila, so this is 135 degrees. Vertical angles itong dalawang exterior angle mo, so this is also 135 degrees. Now, based kanina sa concept ng remote interior angle, ito yung nakuha natin. Let us try to get the measures of angle 5, angle 2, and angle 3. So, ano kaya ang relationship nitong exterior angle mo sa kanyang dalawang remote interior angles? So, kunin natin yung measure ni angle 5, that is 105 degrees. Si angle 2 ay 60 degrees at si angle 3 ay 45 degrees. Now, if you will try to observe, I have 105, 60, and 45. What have you noticed? Anong sa tingin nyo ang relationship nitong tatlo na to? Okay? So, the exterior angle is equal to the sum of the two remote interior angles. Okay? So, the exterior angle is equal to the sum of the two remote interior angle. So, yun po ang meron sa remote interior at exterior angle. So, the measure of an exterior angle is always equal to the sum of the measures of its two remote interior angles. So, lagi pong ganon. So, let us check. Halimbawa, si angle 9. Ang angle 9 mo is 135. So, dapat yung angle 1 na 2, yung remote interior niya, 135. So, 75 plus 60, 135. And then for angle 7, 120. So ito po yung dalawang remote interior niya. So 75 plus 45, this is 120. Let's talk about the sides of a triangle. So the sum of the lengths of any two sides of a triangle is greater than the length of the third side. Now, ano bang ibig sabihin nito? For us to form, para makabuo tayo ng triangle, or ikaw, kung magkukonstruct ka ng triangle mo, dapat po tama po ang measures niyan. Okay, ano pong ibig sabihin nun? Dapat, pag inad mo yung dalawang sides ng triangle mo, it should be always greater than the third side. Okay, let's have an example. So, tingnan natin kung alin dito yung hindi makakabuo o makakapag-form ng triangle. So, i-add natin yung 2 plus 4. So, as you can see, 2 plus 4 is 6. So, 6 is greater than 7. So, dapat kasi laging greater than yung dalawang sides. Okay? Yung sum ng dalawang sides mo. So, dito pa lang, hindi na. Okay? So, ibig sabihin si 2, si 4, 7, with this lengths, hindi po siya makakabuo ng triangle. So, kahit pa mag-true yan sa iba, i-add mo si 4, 7, 11, which is greater than 2. And then, i-add mo si 2 plus 7, 9, which is greater than 4. So, kahit mag-true ito, kung may isang false dyan, hindi po siya makakabuo ng triangle. So, these measurements of the lengths of a triangle cannot form a triangle. Next. I have 5. 5 is greater than 8. I-add natin to. So, this is 10. So, this is true. Next, ito naman, ang i-add natin, 5, 8. So, this is true. And then this one, 5, 8. This is also true. So, pareho lang siya doon. Okay? So, as you can see, all the conditions satisfy the given statement. So, pag inad natin to 10, mas mataas siya doon. Pag inad natin to 13, mas mataas siya dito. Pag inad natin to 13 din, mas mataas siya. So, it will form a triangle. Next, 3 plus 10, is it greater than 12? Yes. 10 plus 12, ito naman ang i-add natin, 22, which is greater than 3. And then 3 plus 12, that is 15, which is greater than 10. So, ibig sabihin, ito pong lengths ng mga sides na to ay makaka-form din ng triangle. Let's have this one. So, we have 10 plus 4, so that 14 is greater than 6. And then 10 plus 6, ito tsaka to, 16, which is greater than 4. So, this is also true. And then we have 4 plus 6. So, 4 plus 6, 10 is greater than 10. This is false. Okay? So, hindi po pwedeng equal. So, this is false. So, ibig sabihin, etong lengths na 10, 4, and 6 cannot form a triangle. So, always remember na kapag inad yung any two sides of a triangle, it should be always greater than the length of the third side. Let's talk about the longest side and the largest angle. Ano ba ibig sabihin nito? So, halimbawa, given itong measures ng ating angles, paano mo malalaman yung longest side? Ang longest side is actually opposite the largest angle. So, ma'am, paano namin malalaman yung longest side? Wala namang given na measures ng sides. So, makukuha nyo yan kung ang measure ng angle na yun, siya yung pinakamalaki. So, ang longest side is opposite the largest angle. So, kung ito ang largest angle mo, ibig sabihin ito ang opposite side. Ito ang longest side. So, your longest side is segment BC. Next, your shortest side. Paano naman malalaman ang shortest side? Given lang yung measures ng angles. Ang shortest side po ay opposite ng ang shortest side ay opposite ng smallest angle. So, kung ito ang smallest angle mo, ibig sabihin ito ang shortest side. So, we have segment AC. Now, if we will try to arrange the sides from longest to shortest, ano po ang mauna? Ano ang longest? Ito po. We have BC, and then AB, kasi this is 60, and then your shortest side is AC. So, siya po yung huli. Next, how about, given yung measures ng sides, aalamin naman natin yung largest angle. So, what is the largest angle? So, para makuha mo yung largest angle, it is always opposite the longest side. So, kung ito ang longest side mo, ibig sabihin ito ang largest angle. That is angle A. Next, name the smallest angle. Ang smallest angle ay opposite ng shortest side. So, kung ito ang pinakamaiksing side mo, ibig sabihin this is your smallest angle. So, we have angle C. And alright, so let us name the angles from largest to smallest. Since this is the largest, so angle A, this is the smallest. So your the angle in between this largest and smallest angle is angle B, right? So let's try. So I'm giving you 30 seconds. If the time is not enough, you may pause the video. Let us check. I hope you got perfect. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you learned something. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell para updated kayo for more video tutorials. This is your guide in learning your math lessons, your Wow Math channel.